Mayor, you mentioned increasing security in City Hall. Can you elaborate more on what that means, what your plan is? Are you thinking metal detectors, or what specifically does that mean?
I guess what I want to do is just get in touch with people that could supply the answers to that. The police department have done I don't want to call it an investigation, what's the word? A report, security
survey.
Thank you, survey, there you go. As far as some things going on here at City Hall, deficiencies, that type of thing. I do get worried for our staff, and as I said before, it is a different world today, and I really do think our insurance carrier is going to demand it. I would suggest, I don't want to make a fortress or anything like that. I want this place to be welcoming to all residents, but yet safety and security is going to be first and foremost.
What would be the timeline on something like that? What would be the timeline on something like that?
That's a good question. I'm hoping within the next 2 years or so. The biggest thing is, just like so many other things, we got to find a way to pay for it. Nora?
Can you give us an update on how things are going with transportation? If you've been in touch with people in Red Mountain, or where are we? We were working on it about a year ago, and we haven't done much since then.
Actually, things have been done kind of quietly. We've kind of let the MPO from Marathon County kind of talk to other communities, and there is interest. We don't want to make it look like Wausau was just trying to shove or do whatever has been done in the past. It was met with resistance, and we're trying to avoid that. The biggest thing, once again, is trying to find transportation dollars in the budget from the state. I don't think that's supported, but just the same, we'll find a way to try to get things taken care of. But we've been kind of sitting in the background, for lack of a better way of putting it, and kind of letting some folks from Marathon County take care of it. Brian?
A number of stores have closed in the mall recently. It seems to be kind of going in the wrong direction, with 2 anchors empty and more than a dozen stores empty in the mall now. Is there concern that this will affect the My Time deal, which, as I understand, hasn't yet been signed? And are you concerned about the mall's direction?
Concerned about the mall's direction? Sure. Malls are different today and being repositioned differently. The theater is going to be happening. It took a little bit longer because we had to get some more dealings done, that type of thing, but I am hoping for better things to happen with the mall in the future. Yes, we're fully aware as far as some things happening there right now, but we do talk with the new mall owners on a regular basis, and we do see some good things coming. Nora?
It's normal to have ongoing litigation, but the lawsuit with the Village of Maine has been quite expensive for the city and for the village up there. I wonder if you could give us an update or share some of the city's reasoning as to why we're still fighting that fight.
That's a good one. This is something that the city council, in regards for different annexations and things that were done in the past, I've said publicly, I do not like being in a fight with our neighbors. I don't like that image it gives the city. From what I understand, we're expecting a ruling sometime, hopefully before April, on the last part of that litigation from Judge Falstad. I have extended the olive branch and have spoken, albeit briefly, with the township leaders, or village leaders, excuse me. And I am hoping for some kind of resolution and fairly quick.
I know they're talking at the county level about bringing in a moderator if it doesn't get resolved in circuit court. Is that something that you guys would be up for?
I would be. Ultimately, it's up to the city council, though. Hello, Nick.
Hi, don't worry, I don't have any questions for you. I just want to applaud you. Your first year, obviously there was some skepticism leading into whoever was going to be our mayor based on the candidacy, and I think you rose to the occasion in more ways than I think people initially gave you credit for. So I want to applaud you. I also want to, pay some recognition to the fact that you have been immensely supportive of all sorts of grassroots efforts that would, in one way, shape, or form, benefit the city and working with the city and having that connection between local government and grassroots efforts, I think, is paving a really good pathway for our future as a city, and I applaud you for that. So thank you, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think you've done a fantastic job in this first year.
It's very kind of you, thank you. Now you're gonna make me blush, so. Any other questions? Residents, if you got questions too, go ahead. Hi.
Go first. Yeah, you mentioned a commitment to economic development. Why do you think it's been so important in your first year to address an increase in economic development?
Out with the old, in with the new, if you want to call it that. You know, economic development is that engine that's going to drive the future of our city. And we can already see the results as far as things, both from my two previous predecessors and all that they did with the downtown, and then the thoughts and plans that they have for the riverfront. And if you look at any city that has a riverfront, they're doing the same thing as far as building and trying to revitalize those areas. That is the future. The other thing that I'm really trying to do along with the city council and all of us here on staff to attract that younger millennial professional. I don't like that thought of a brain drain, and other than college or being in the Army, I've been in Wausau all my life. But when I see people go, especially talented people and smart kids, I say that respectfully, younger people, I don't like that. That's not good. That's the future of our city. And they're the ones that are gonna be here to take care of the future of our city as well. So that's the main reason why, as far as that commitment. The other thing is, think about it, when you do have that development, stuff like that, it does attract new business. It does attract people to be interested in Wausau. And we had been in a downturn as of late as far as population and stuff like that. Now we're seeing some things coming back and rebuild, and I wanna keep moving that forward.
And I'm sorry to switch gears here a little bit, but you know, about a month after the shooting, you as a city leader here, what is your take on the state of the city and the aftermath? Is it more, you know, do you feel people are living in fear more, or do you think there's strength in the community coming together?
I was really genuinely impressed. I think the world of all of our employees, I'm just gonna say that, but in particular our police department, they really suffered. But I was so happy and so impressed with the way that everybody in the community banded together to support officers, not just from our department, but others around in the area. If you could have been at that funeral, it was just incredible. I hope to never have to do anything like that again. And we also had staff from our fire department helping out with that as well. The good news is, do I think people are safe? Yeah, I think so. Speaking for myself, I have no real fears. Well, that's not true. Every now and then I do have an interesting resident, but we won't get into that. But seriously, but in all seriousness, the cool and neat thing was our community got together, and it was all positive. And it's so unfortunate with what happened. I'm so very proud of our police department and what they did and what they've had to go through. They are top notch. Any other questions? And as I said, residents, if you've got questions, go ahead. Oh, you guys are making this easy. Oh, here we go. Good morning.
Good morning. What are the scheduled times of most of the city council meetings?
The scheduled times are
Yeah.
the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, always at 7 o'clock. It's been that way for years.
And they're open to the public?
Oh yeah, by all means. We love to hear the discussion. Oh,
I
okay.
just retired, so I'm not knowledgeable.
No.
When they work.
And you're welcome here anytime as any member of the public. I have been told I am very accessible, so if you got any questions or concerns, any resident, come on up and see me.
Good deal.
I'm very normal, very down to earth most days, so. Summer schedule, okay, thank you for bringing that up. In the summer, I want to try to get back council meetings to that the second Tuesday of the month, and that would be for June, July, and August. Otherwise, the rest of the year, we meet twice a month on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. Any other questions? Ryan?
You mentioned increasing transparency during your time, but it seems like there have been a increasing number of closed session meetings, and that details for a lot of these projects are starting to come out kind of at the last minute. Can you address that?
I'm gonna disagree with you as far as the last minute. Things are vetted out in a public process. When you're dealing with businesses and stuff like that, to attract new opportunities, you gotta do it right. Some of these businesses don't want it to be announced, if you wanna call it that. To keep it in closed session to discuss it, or the details leading up to whatever might be done with the business, it has to be done for the council to be decided. The cool thing about council, and as I said before, council knows what is going on, nobody's left in the dark. That wasn't always the case in the past. And I'm gonna disagree with you as far as things being done quickly. Usually it's done in a very vetted process. As I said before, we try to get the public involved, be it with, I think I've had more press conferences or media roundtables. This is a first as far as addressing, the state of the city, that type of thing. So we do try to have things more open and transparent.
Well, I didn't necessarily suggest that they were done quickly, but I did suggest that they were often held in closed session and the details didn't really come out to the public until right before the council would vote.
I would disagree with you. Give me an example.
Wausau Chemical is a great example.
That one
that
was
came up
done
with-
within a week or so. That one, I admit, probably a little bit quicker than usual, but as everybody seems to misunderstand about the Wausau Chemical vote, we haven't done anything with it yet. That vote was just basically to get the ball rolling. And we had a press conference, it's vetted out, that type of thing. And in Wausau Chemical's case, I don't want them, the owner and his family, to go through what they did last time. Anything else from anybody? Folks, I thank you all so much. It is an honor to serve here. I welcome you to come up and see me. Thank you for attending today. Have a great day.